Hey, I'm back like I never left. I know you guys like, you still on Family Matters, what you doing? Why? But like, man, we gotta talk about some of these situations that have been going on. Just to give my little final thoughts on these things, and then I'll be like deucing out. But we know about this little situation with Joe Marie. I'm not gonna put the articles up here because I'm not really trying to gossip. But Joe Marie was talking about a situation that she had with Jaleel White. And look, so this is my thoughts on that. As far as the whole situation with him and Joe Marie, I'm staying out of that. The only thing that I would say, like I said before, is that it's interesting that she was saying in an earlier interview as to why she left, there was no tension. But then she mentions here that there is tension. Y'all go read it for yourself. I told you I don't want to do the gossip, but I just thought I would mention it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have an opinion on it. It doesn't change anything for me. I expect there to be some issues and things like that, behind the scenes. When you're dealing with a person every day, there's going to be some stuff that happens. It goes down, you know what I'm saying? But let's get into this, man. So, I've seen so many YouTube videos that, Steve Urkel, that he ruined Family Matters, and, he took over the show and all this kind of whack stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just wiggity whack, right? And so here's my thing, guys. Okay. Jaleel White should be looked at nothing more than an inspiration. Okay. He should be somebody to aspire to. Okay. Because what happened is Jaleel had an opportunity, right? And he took that opportunity by the horns and created a beautiful life for himself. Because this is the reality. And this is what I truly believe. And I said this before. I am a believer of what God has for you, he has for you. As in, meaning, a person can't take away from you something that is yours, right? So, okay. So let's just peep this for a second. Okay. Jaleel, he comes in. If you look at the situation, if you look at how Family Matters was originally constructed, you can look and say, guys, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. It was not going to last very long. At most, okay, look, good black sitcoms, their range is 5-6 seasons, right? Good, like our favorite Martin, Living Single, 5 seasons, right? Different World, 6 seasons. Our favorite Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 6 seasons, right? So, and those are the high echelon of black sitcoms, and they didn't even get to a 7th season. So Family Matters and how it was originally constructed was not going to even get past the 3rd season. Let's just keep it real, okay? Secondly, in keeping it real, how Jaleel was able to come in and do what he did is because the opportunity was there. Opportunity happens, and that's what I want people, and this is just my thing, right? Is people need to understand Jaleel didn't take anything from anybody. All he took was an opportunity, because I feel like the producers were already looking and saying, what we're doing right now, this is not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not, this is, I don't know. It's a saying that, this quarterback, Russell Wilson, he used to play for the Seahawks. I guess now he plays for Denver, but he says, make them notice, right? When you look at the first season of Family Matters earlier on, when it's kind of based around these two here, if you look at it, you can see they didn't make you notice, right? You're like, oh, this is a good show, but they don't make you notice. When Jaleel White came in as Steve Urkel, he made you notice. You had to pay attention. It's not a disrespect to Reginald and Joe Marie, but I think the issue what it was with them is I think the writers were like, wow, we don't know how to grow this, like. Because Carl and Harriet, they're already married. They already have kids. They already did the episode of, what is it, One Income Family, where Harriet's trying to find a job. I'm like, okay, well, what else do we do with this? You know what I'm saying? There was no room for them to grow, as far as, if you're focusing and having the focus on their marriage and their relationship, there was nowhere to grow. And they were kind of trying to find a direction, because you saw the great Thelma Hopkins, who probably was the most talented at that time. And they have her in season 1 walking around trying to get little Richie to say, Mama. You know what I'm saying? Or she's walking around. If y'all know the show, y'all know what's up. But, you know, walking around and she's playing the harp or whatever it is. And I'm like, this is Thelma Hopkins, y'all. Y'all need to go Google her. This is Thelma Hopkins. And that's what they kind of had her doing, right? So what what Jaleel White did, you know, as the Steve Urkel character is, number one, he jumped on an opportunity, guys. It's because the door was open. All he did was walk through it. He should be an inspiration for that. He was supposed to be on one episode. One and done. One and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? One hit wonder. Use the ones however you want to use them. You know what I'm saying? That's how we were supposed to go. The producer saw something. Like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? We like what we see here, right? And watch Jaleel White. Now, let me tell you what Jaleel White did with his brilliant self, right? He comes in, he creates this unique character that we've never seen before and probably will never see again. Don't compare him to it. R.I.P. to, I can't think of what his name is, that plays Screech. R.I.P. to him. But you don't compare Steve Urkel to any nerd. It's a disrespect. It's a disrespect. Okay, sidebar, sorry. But it's a disrespect, right? Jaleel White came in and played Steve Urkel, one of the greatest characters you will ever see on a sitcom, right? But the other thing that I want people to pay attention to, the other thing that he did was he also brought that Steve and Laura storyline. And producers brought, you know, Joe Marie said that the producers had the older castmates come in and they said, hey, we're about to restructure this show. We're going to go in a different direction. We're going to restructure it around him instead of y'all, right? And what people have to realize about that is what they were really saying in that is we're restructuring the show around the Steve and Laura storyline. We're not going to restructure it. We're not going to structure it around your relationship anymore. We're going to structure it around this relationship because now we can do some things with this. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. Why did they have to do that? Why did they have to call in the older castmates and say, hey, this is the direction that we're going to take the show. We just want to, hey, just to give y'all a heads up. Why was that even necessary? Right? They didn't do it with the big fix where they made that whole episode about Steve and Laura. No, because they basically, I think what it is they were telling them the way the show was going was not working and we're going in this direction.
In a strange sort of way, I think I just might miss Urkel. On our wedding night, but
so here's why we're not going back. Okay, it ain't Steve and Laura. First of all, it's always Steve and Laura time, but no, it's not Steve and Laura time. But this is the one thing that I wanted to point out: the two things that you see, like kind of low key happening, where you can already see the trajectory of the show, if you will, is taking a turn. We just saw a little bit earlier there, right, where Laura said, you know what, in a strange kind of way, I might miss Urkel. Y'all not see, people don't pick that up, right? It's starting to. You know what I'm saying? They start to get that storyline going. And this is what people really need to see, you know, when they said that they were going to redirect the show around the Urkel character. What they also did, they did that, right? But what they also did, and the bigger thing that they really did, is they restructured the show around Steve and Laura, right? And so now you're bringing this storyline of Steve and Laura, and people need to pay attention. You saw that when two were kind of thrown together and people were like, go make it happen. And I don't think people see that. Like, that was kind of a trial run, I think, with the big fix when they went on their non-date, right? I think the producer was like, hey, we're going to put them together. We're going to kind of isolate them and see what kind of chemistry they have, right? Then they saw it like, oh man, you put these two little cute kids together. They kind of balance each other. They bounce off each other. They're cute together, you know? And then I think the producers were like, you know what? We're going to go in that direction with the show. And I think people overlook that when they say, oh, they restructured the show around Steve Urkel. Yeah, that's true. But they also restructured the show around this storyline, around the Steve and Laura storyline. And what the Steve and Laura storyline did was it brought the show direction. And I don't think people realize that. They're the one, who is he in the scenes with? And this is what I said before in my other video if you watched it. Who do you see him talking to first? When the Steve Urkel character is introduced, who is he talking to first? When the show ends, who is he talking to last? Laura, right? Guys, that's what the story, that was the restructuring of the show. It was no longer going to be structured around the relationship of Harry and Carl. It's now going to be restructured around the relationship of Steve and Laura. And that opened up the show, right? So now they got everything kind of in a position because now they have a vision. They have a vision. Like, okay, now we know what we can. But I think with Harry and Carl, it's not a knock on Joe Marie and Reginald, but I think they had already peaked, right? You know, episode 8, they kind of already peaked. Like, okay, we don't know what we can do. But now with the Stephen Laura storyline, oh, they get to go and be creative. You're writing a sitcom to develop a story. So in the beginning, in the early season 1, I think the producer were realizing is like, you know what, we don't have a developing story here. We don't have something in our back pocket that we can pull out and bam, right? And you know, a foundation. Stephen Laura gave Family Matters a foundation. And like it got them, you know, for it to last for as long as it did. Family Matters wasn't going to get past the 3rd season with it being based around Harriet and Carl. It wasn't going to happen, guys. It just wasn't. You know what I'm saying? The chemistry and the magic was between Kelly and Jaleel, the 2 kids, right? The show centered around them, and Jaleel and Kelly, they're just so humble that they, you know, won't just outright just say it. But that is what happened, guys. That is what happened. You know, they broke White, but yes, Jaleel White needs to be commended and he should be an inspiration. But you also got to give props to Kelly. She was every bit a part of that. Every bit a part of that. If the writers thought that they had something better somewhere else, they would have done it. Plain and simple. If the writers thought that like, no, we about to partner him up with him and Eddie and Waldo. If you think about it, that even makes more sense to do that. But no, they partnered him with Kelly. Why? Too, sidebar. One thing I want to say too is I love that almost every time I've heard Kelly talk about Jaleel, it's been so complimentary. I love that. And anytime I've heard him, same thing. They're very complimentary of each other. But Jaleel was talking about this exact episode. And it's a video. It's on YouTube. Go look it up. And he was talking about how in this scene, as they, you know, when they cry, he said that wasn't even in the script, guys. That just happened, right? That's what the producers saw. That they're going to bring something out in each other that is going to be dynamite. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, let's just be honest. I think we're all really happy that the show went in this direction. You know what I'm saying? And look, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if we see it again. You know, it might come, it may look like, and maybe it's a different version, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see this again. Because if he did it before, what? He can do it again. Yeah. Same God right now. Same God back then. Straight up. Love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.